Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The one and only Sydney Sweeney joins us. Sydney, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Tom Hanks and Robin Wright in my favorite movie of the year. Guys, thanks so much for joining the show.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
One of my all-time favorites, Vince Vaughn, joins us right now. Vince, thanks, man.
Oh, great to be with you, Brad, and great to be talking to Houston. Good morning to you.
We got Owen Wilson. We got Judy Greer. Thanks for joining the show, guys.
Thank you.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
We got Anna Sawai joining the show. Anna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brad.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking at talking me funny, lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Paris Hilton, the infinite icon herself, is on the show. Paris, love the film.
Thank you. I'm so proud of it.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore! And joining us right now on the show, he is one of the stars of Beautiful, the Carole King musical, which is taking place as a part of the theater Under the Stars. And he joins us now to talk all about it. He's the one and only Ben Chavez. Ben, how you doing?
I'm doing so well. How are you doing, Brad?
I'm doing well, man. Look, congrats on everything you got going on. Talk to me about this musical, though, because I'm a musical fan. I am. I can't help it. It's just who I am. I try to go see a Broadway show at least once a year. Obviously, Theater Under the Stars, what they do at the Hobby Center, I'm a big supporter and a big fan of. How does it feel to be a part of this one, though? Beautiful, the Carole King musical.
This musical is special. I've been doing theater my whole life, and this one stands out from all the musicals I've gotten to do because it features some of the most iconic music in music history. The songs that Carole King and Jerry Goffin wrote are timeless, and I think what people are learning when they see this show is that they don't realize Carole King wrote so many songs that were performed by other artists. Of course, Carole King had an amazing career on her own as a solo artist, but she wrote The Locomotion, which is like one of the most popular dance songs from people's childhoods. And it also features Cynthia Weil and Barry Mann, who are best friends of Carole and Jerry. They're also amazing songwriters. They wrote the song You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling. They wrote the song On Broadway. And so it's just kind of like a party performance where we're all reliving songs that people grew up with.
Yeah, I mean, great music from the 60s, obviously. And from there, Carole King's been a part of so much. But talk about who you play in particular. Talk about Neil a little bit.
Yeah, so I get to play Neil Sedaka and one of the Righteous Brothers. And so in the musical, when we tease the songs from Carole and Cynthia Weil, then the artists that sang these songs in real life come out and perform the songs. And so what people don't know is that Neil Sedaka and Carole King had a little fling when they were younger. And so I get to play Neil Sedaka in his young age. And then I come back at the end of Act 1 and play one of the Righteous Brothers and sing an iconic song, You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling. And you see the crowd and you feel the crowd get excited in the audience when the song starts playing. So I just have a blast doing it. Neil
especially, though. I mean, Neil, he had so many records that he's another one kind of like Carole. Like, if you go look at what he did, he had a string of huge hits for a long time. You talk about Calendar Girl, Breaking Up Is Hard to Do, Happy Birthday, Sweet 16, right? Like, they're popping in my head as we're talking here. He's really an accomplished guy.
Yeah, it's such a long career, and I think it's kind of timely that I get to do that role now because he just passed away this year.
Yeah.
So I feel really honored to get to, portray him on the stage. And he's got such an amazing voice, so I feel just really special stepping into his shoes.
Yeah, it was just in February, I believe, of this year that we lost him. But like you said, and that's the beauty, I think, of music and musicals, and tell me if you disagree, is like they really are immortal. They live on forever because, people might hear a joke and they might laugh at it but forget about it later. You might see a movie that was really impactful to you, but, you've seen it 3 or 4 times, so you don't want to watch it again.
Yeah.
But a song you could listen to 100 1,000 times in a row
Right.
and never get tired of it.
And the musical features these artists in the recording studio, and you realize just how important that process is. Like when you're in the studio, you are making a 3 to 5 minute song that's going to last forever. You know, like the songs that Carole King recorded decades ago are on Spotify today, and
Yeah.
we get to carry with us a piece of that studio time that they had together. But also, what I love about live theater is that it only happens one time. And so what we do is unique because if something, if there's a flub or a lighting cue, something happens, we just pick up and move on because it's live theater. And so this is a unique experience to hear these timeless songs in a live experience at Theater Under the Stars.
I had a television producer tell me a long time ago, it can't go wrong if it's live, right? Like whatever happens, happens. You just got to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
It's also, I guess it's the exhilarating thing about being a stage performer is walking that tightrope every night.
Yeah. And people ask me if I get nervous, and after doing this for a handful of years, I really don't, because it's just fun. And you sort of get excited for what might happen, and the audience plays a character in our performance as well. The audience's reactions, whether they're laughing or crying or, giggling, they affect how we perform as well, because they are our, that's who we're catering this performance to.
Have you ever had a moment though to where maybe in rehearsal this always got a big laugh, but then on opening night maybe it doesn't, or the opposite, like something that you say in rehearsal never has any reaction, and then you say it in front of an audience and all of a sudden they're filling the arena up with some sort of reaction?
I find that that's usually what happens to me, is I do something in rehearsal that I think is really serious, and then the audience starts laughing. And I walk off stage and I'm like, what was that about? Why are they laughing at that? And, it's just kind of like that backhanded humor that I didn't see coming, but they saw it. And that's why we love them. That's why we need the audience, because they tell us what they're feeling and what this performance is really about.
Well, and at the end of the show, you might hear a performer say, you've been a wonderful audience or whatever, something along those terms. And it's so true that the audience is so dictatory of how that show is going to be. You could be given the best show, but if they're sitting on their hands because they're tired or the room's hot or whatever the case may be, it's not the same feeling.
And it's funny too, because it's our responsibility to entertain them.
Sure.
And so if they're having a rough day, then we think on our feet and we're thinking, how can we spice up this performance to get them going, to get them jazzed up? And this is one of those shows where we can dial up and dial down the volume based on how the audience is feeling, because these songs, there's no doubt that the audience members are going to feel 5 or 10 of these songs in their hearts.
What's the number though that you get most excited for as it's coming up, whether it's one that you sing or one that's sang by somebody else?
I get to do, like I've mentioned, this song called You've Lost That Love and Feeling. And it was written by Cynthia Weil and Barry Mann. And they tease the song in their little home office on stage. And then the curtain opens up and me and one of the other Righteous Brothers perform the entirety of this song. And it's a song that the audience does not see coming. And it's the one moment where the two of us get to just rock out like how we want. Everything else is very specifically choreographed. But for this one, our director, Dan Konecta, said, why don't you guys just look at the audience, and if you see someone in the house, like you see a lady that's sitting in the front row, sing it to them. And there isn't another song in the show where the actors on stage get to break the fourth wall and actually look at the audience. And so that's why I love this song, because I love playing to the audience. I mean, I do my own singer-songwriter stuff. I play at piano bars, and communicating directly with the audience brings me a lot of joy. And so for this number, we actually get to look out into the crowd and sing to somebody who's sitting in the front row or the 10th row. And I think the audience gets really excited about that, because they're like, oh, wow, they're actually looking at us. So
Wait,
I love that song. The composition is iconic. It's so powerful. It's great.
Well, I mean, and I can't wait to see it for myself again. We're talking to Ben Chavez. Beautiful, the Carole King musical, going down Theater Under the Stars. I think that's what's so great too about a theatrical experience, especially if you have that that freedom as your director gave you to kind of sing it directly to somebody or engage the audience directly, because that's the story they're going to go into the car with, of like, oh, can you see, Ben was singing to me. He was singing to me the whole time. And it's that experience that, they'll live with forever.
And that's also when we have young people in the audience, it's those experiences that can inspire someone to get involved in theater. That's what happened to me. I saw my first musical when I was like 7 years old. And I remember turning to my mom and saying, I want to do what those people are doing. And that's how we change lives. You know, young people, then they start taking classes, and then they end up on stage with us 10 years later and become our colleagues. And that's why I think art is so unique, especially live theater. It's therapeutic, it's uplifting, it's empowering. We are the product that we sell is ourselves. You know, the product that we're presenting is our voices and our bodies and our dance moves. And that's vulnerable, but it's also brave and exciting and so empowering.
You're right. The inspiration of the next generation, like, you know, my nephew, he's 17. He's in his school theater program. They just did Annie, by the way, and they killed it. They
Great
did
show.
a
Great
show. He was FDR. He did a great job.
Nice.
And they got to experience their first musical, which was Back to the Future, the musical from Theater Under the Stars this year. First time they saw it. And you should have seen their expressions when they came out of the Hobby Center. It was like that they had just saw the second coming.
Yeah, I saw that show too. I thought it was mind-blowing. It was so good. And it's almost like you were watching the movie on stage, like the background music and then the car flying. It was incredible.
It's actually, I mean, I've seen dozens of shows, and it's one of the best produced shows I've ever seen with the special effects. Yeah, it's incredible. 100%. What was that show that you went to at 7?
I went to see a production of The King and I.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm originally from New Jersey, and we have a theater just like Theater Under the Stars up there called Paper Mill Playhouse. And they do Broadway caliber shows. Some of them actually transferred to the Broadway stage. And when I was young, I saw this production of The King and I, and to those who are not familiar with that show, it features a lot of young kids. And so I actually saw kids that were my age already working on the professional level. And I'm like, gosh, I'm late. I need to, what am I doing here? I need to be on stage with them. And so that inspired me. And then I have seen probably like, I don't know, 150 shows on Broadway. I've gotten to tour the world with Aladdin, the Broadway show. And just,
amazing show.
You know, it's so cool that now this gets to be my life. This is my career.
It's incredible. It really is. And King and I is a great show. Aladdin, that was another show I saw on Broadway. Another phenomenal produced musical from all the effects that they bring into it. But when you go and you think about these 150 shows that you've seen, and all the ones that you've been a part of, you know, other than Beautiful, what stands out to you as like your favorite show that you've either been a part of or seen?
I think that a favorite show that I've been a part of was probably our production of In the Heights at Theater Under the Stars. We did this last spring in this slot, and it was cool because, like I said, I'm from New Jersey. I grew up just outside of New York City. And so we got to bring my hometown area down here to Houston. And there are people in Houston who have never been to New York City. So we got to give them a taste of New York. And Lin-Manuel Miranda's music, of course, is iconic. I saw that musical on Broadway when I was in high school, and I remember that I wanted to be in that show and that I thought it was one of the best things I'd ever seen. And then for me to actually be in that show, it just was a cool full circle moment. The choreography was spectacular. That music is timeless, especially for our Latin audiences. They felt so jazzed up by those beats and those rhythms. So that's probably a big standout show for me. Of course, Lin-Manuel is amazing. I got to see the original cast of Hamilton do the show off Broadway before it even transferred to Broadway. So he's one of those guys that I'm just following. You know, whatever he's doing, I'm always taking a look into his repertoire.
He's sensational. He's sensational. One of the great creative minds, you know, of this modern era in theater and musicals and film, for that matter. He's kind of conquered the world in that regard. Okay, a couple more questions for you. One, what is the routine? Okay, I want to know Ben's routine when we're getting ready for the show. Do you have to sleep in? Do you have to make sure you get your 8 hours? Are we drinking water? Are we doing a lot of vocal exercises? Are we not talking at all until it's showtime? What is your method?
Yeah, when you're in a show, you do have to kind of transform your whole process. You have to uproot whatever schedule you had before the show started and kind of revamp it. So the 8 hours thing is real. We all have confirmed with each other backstage that if you don't get 8 hours, your voice is not where it needs to be on the day of. So we try to get our minimum 8 hours, sometimes more if we can. Then during the day, it's funny, we all love working together, but during the day we do not see each other. You know, we take our space, we relax our voices, and then we show up to the theater usually around an hour, 45 minutes before the performance, and then it's game on. Vocal warm-ups are so important. I'm also a vocal coach, so I really know the importance of vocal warm-ups. And everybody has a different range that they need to sing in the show. So you kind of warm up your voice based on what you're about to perform on stage. So for this show, I'm singing higher than I've ever sung before. So it means an extra 5 minutes warming up and, reaching those high notes and doing all the different exercises that I teach my own students. And then, we have some brilliant costumes in this show designed by Colleen Grady. And so that's what we do before the show. In the 30 minutes leading up to the show, we all get our hair and makeup done. Most people are wearing wigs. I think that's what a fun thing that people don't realize that we do on stage is that most of us, even guys, wear wigs throughout the entire show because we're dealing with hairstyles from the 50s, 60s, and 70s that many of us cannot achieve in like a 10-minute prep period.
Right.
So we put wigs on, we put these cool costumes on, and then the show starts right on time, and we are doing it. It's such a rush. It's such a rush.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's your whole day's built up to that hour and a half, 2 hours that you're out there and getting to have that experience. And then I'm sure it's kind of hard to come down after the show.
Yeah, it is. It's hard for me to wind down, especially getting back to bed. I need to stay up for another like 3 or 4 hours because I'm like, man, that show was so cool. That was so fun. And then we're all, we like to chill a little bit at the theater and just hang out and reminisce and spend time with each other. So yes, we are all night owls.
Yeah, for sure. Now, okay. One of my favorite things, if I go to a theatrical performance, if I go to a movie, if I go to a concert, a stand-up show, whatever the case may be, the thing that I look forward to the most is the conversation that comes afterwards with whoever I'm with. Whether I'm watching a movie on a couch or we're driving in the car back home, I love the conversation. Like, what do you think of that? If you were to have a idealistic conversation that's going to be had after people see Beautiful, the Carole King musical, what do you want that conversation of the audience to be?
Aside from how incredible these songs are, this show really talks about Carole King's journey as a woman trying to make it in the industry. And back in the 50s when she was getting started, women were not songwriters. It was all men. Women were teachers. They were working at home. They were doing stuff that was just typical of the period. But this is really a story about a woman finding her voice. It's about resilience and empowerment. And so my question to people who walk away from the show is, what is your own personal takeaway from Carole King's story? Theater is meant to teach us lessons. That is to me the point of theater. And so I'm curious to ask people what takeaways do you get from this show that could apply to your own life? Aside from the amazing songs, aside from the locomotion and, on Broadway and all those amazing hits from people's childhoods, how does this show inspire you to go out and achieve something big in your own life? And I hope that, especially like I said, for the young people, they have big aspirations after seeing a show like this.
Well, you know what? I'm sure many people will, and they'll be having that same conversation. And I appreciate the conversation that we've had today, Ben. Congratulations on this show again. Beautiful, the Carole King musical, Theater Under the Stars. He is Ben Chavez. Ben, thank you so much again, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you. A pleasure talking with you. Thanks, Brad.